What's up, my witches? It's so good to see you. Laura, lurking is absolutely acceptable, even encouraged. We're happy to have you lurking. Hi, Roxanne. How you doing, sweetheart? I'm so glad to see you guys. If you are new here, I'm Luna, and we get together maybe once a week. We try once a week. And I do readings for the collective. So no personal readings tonight, but the collective is personal, right? I mean, what is good for all of us is also good for each of us, or it should be. Shouldn't be any difference there. So I welcome you. If you want to jump in on the chat, hit the subscribe button. If you're not already subscribed, you have to be subscribed for a minute before the chat will let you in. Also, if you switch your chat window up at the top, there's a down arrow. Switch it from top chat to live chat. I don't know what exactly it filters out, but the algorithm decides who the top is, and so do live chat and you'll see everybody. Hi, Elsie. Good evening. I'm so happy to see you all here. I'm still kind of fucking around with my cameras because as I went live, I looked and it kind of looks like I'm in soft focus, or the cards are. I don't care about me, but the cards in soft focus is not the best thing. I want you to see them nice and sharp. So I might be farting around just a little bit longer with this. Okay, wait. Let me see what I can do. I mean, that's actually not that bad, so I guess I'll leave it. I shall leave it. At any rate, I can watch myself farting around. I'm so glad that you're here, and tonight I don't really have like big topics to start off with, so we'll let the Astro Dice do that. But we had a lovely, lovely weekend last weekend at our friend's house out in Rootstown, for Rootstock, which is just fun hanging out with friends, listening to music, playing euchre, all that stuff. But unfortunately, a couple people on Monday tested positive for COVID, and they let us all know. So we've just been kind of hunkered down. So far, so good, and I think we're going to be all right. I've never felt the oh no feeling, So I think we're good. And let me. Okay, hi Marilyn. I'm so happy to see you here too. And usually I'm here on Wednesdays, but there is no usually anymore. My functionality is so variable and unpredictable that I throw in when I can. And I was planning one yesterday until mid-afternoon when my system went, ugh. So, but I'm here today and I'm very happy to be here today. Let's talk just a little bit about what's happening in general. There are things that happen in life, whether they're personal events or collective events that set a marker. And then we look at everything before that time and everything after that time. It's a dividing line. And we certainly had one of those in July. It was a sea change in energy, in just the entire zeitgeist of the whole US, and I know outside of the US as well, from despair and just dogged, slogging ahead to this wave of joy and buoyancy, and that continues as we get down, get past the honeymoon phase to the nitty gritty of campaigning. And it's just been delightful watching them not know how to handle a woman, and particularly a woman of color and accomplishment. They just don't know what to do. So that's a nice thing. But I'm also seeing, just with us on this end of things, that we are getting to the point of going, okay, and now there's work to do. And now there's work to do because it's not a guarantee that we will have the kind of Congress we need to make the big changes that need to happen right away. So I encourage all of you who live in the US to check your voter registration every week and just keep on top of it. so that you can tell if any shenanigans have happened there, because that you know there's stuff going on at the state and local level. So pay attention to that. Make sure you're set up. Um, do the work. I always recommend you to Resistance Live on YouTube. Elizabeth Cronise McLaughlin, she's amazing. Um, and I'm kind of digging the Bulwark lately. I sort of backed off Midas Touch because they got really clickbaity and just the same things over and over and over and over and on and on and on. And I'd rather just have new information and then, empower me and move along. Thank you. So, hi, Al. Hi. So good to see you. But we are seeing the change continue with suddenly Ukraine moving into Russia and not much happening to stop it. And let's talk a little bit about the Olympics. Holy shit. I saw something go across Facebook today that had pictures of all of these women, and I don't remember all their sports, I'm sorry, but who either competed pregnant. One of them was an archer. I remember that. And then women that were there with their children, and so many, so many. And there was one woman in particular who was responsible for setting up the Olympic nursery, for creating that so that women could have their children being there close by while they're competing, and also a place that is set up to support nursing mothers. And there was a nursing mother who was competing. And it's just finally seeing women, fully present, and space made for us. Not just, oh yeah, they're there, everything's set up for the men, but, and then there's the women trying to break into that club. But what I'm seeing is the shift of full agency, women having their full place on this planet as fully half of humanity, and the half that brings the other half in, or that brings all of them in. So this is the main thing that we're seeing. And since the 80s, I've been, hammering on the feminism thing. And back in those days, I got accused by everybody and their brother and uncle of being a man hater. And just, it was awful. And even from the pagan community, because I was running a women's temple. I didn't call it Dianic because it wasn't Wiccan. It was, what I do. But it was women only, and got a lot of guff from the Odinists from that. and now finally it's like, here we are. And I didn't really realize what I had been looking for, because I didn't know what it would look like. But just seeing those snapshots from the Olympics of these women in full flower of womanhood, being pregnant, bringing their children there, and yet I'm an Olympic athlete and I can compete just like the other ones. And then of course there's all the bullshit that went on with the boxer, and I am glad to hear that boxer is suing J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk for defamation and for online cyberbullying. I can't remember, but she's suing them, and I'm so happy she is. I'm so happy she is. So, if we're not out there to support each other, shut the fuck up. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, let's go back to everybody else. Hi, Catherine. I'm so glad to see you here. Oh, goodness. Does the retrograde affect our health? Yes, it does. You know what? It depends on your chart, really. You're moving out next week. Wow, Al, that's a big step. That's huge. Congratulations. Congratulations, my dear. Okay, so yeah, it does. You, in your chart, your natal chart, you'll look at your 6th house to see your physical health. And whatever sign is on the cusp of that house, and the planet that rules it, you look for where that planet is sitting, what sign it's in, the aspects it makes, all that, to describe health issues. I know that back in my 20s, when I wasn't like paying attention to things in a very specific way. I went through a period where I would have pass out attacks. I have a thing where, if I stand still and upright for a long time, I had very low blood pressure back then. And so my blood pressure would drop and down I'd go. And I learned how to, get low when I felt one coming on, and how to let people know what was happening, how to, if I'm standing in line, how to kick my feet up just to kind of make my blood pressure go up a little bit. But I started to notice that those happened during Mercury retros. So Mercury rules, yes, communication, mental activity. It rules everything that comes in pairs in the body, hands and lungs, things like that. It doesn't rule the breast though. So anyway, but it rules electricity and that sort of electrical energy, and its logistics and schedules and the functioning of things. So yes, if you look at the functioning of the body, when it goes retrograde, we can just kind of hit a funky place and your energy can feel off. But if you look at your sixth house, and also look at where this retrograde is happening. It's happening in Virgo. It started in Virgo back into Leo. So if you look at where that sits in your chart and the range of degrees, of interest that Mercury is going to be messing with, and see what aspects it's going to be making as it's retrograding, and then that can give you a really good idea of what's going on. As far as, specifically aggravating autoimmune, I don't know, because I would think, if I think about immune system and what would rule the immune system, Mars is what comes to mind immediately. But I would think Mercury would have something to do with that as well. So I don't know. The answer ultimately is yes, but I don't know, in your particular case, how that is represented in your chart. In my chart, my sixth house is ruled by Mars with Aries on the cusp. Mars actually sits in that house in Taurus, and it squares my sun, and it opposes Neptune from the 12th house. So the Mars-Neptune opposition, if you look at Mars's physical health and Neptune opposing that from the 12th house, first of all, my mental state has everything to do with my physical health, but it also talks about just mysterious things that can sap my physical energy, and then my squaring my sun, I can roll over those to a certain point, but then I really suffer and I pay. And constitutional strength is represented by the sun too, squared by Neptune. So sometimes my constitutional strength just goes down the drain. So anyhow, a little bit of, mini astrology practicum there. Okay, let me see who else has come. Oh, Catherine, I know, talking about Resistance Live, it really is an amazing resource. And one of the things I like a lot about the Bulwark, and what else have I been looking at? Is it Rebel HQ and Occupy Democrats? Is just some new faces, very calm. Not that Midas Touch was, yeah, but they tended to really get repetitive with things, and it was starting to drive me insane. But yeah, Resistance Live is so good because she has endless energy, and she just really helps to empower us. And we get empowered with information, and we get empowered with action points, and it's invaluable, really. Hi, Ellen Marie. I'm so happy to see you. Good, Roxanne. I'm glad you're watching too. Yeah, Al, ragweed has been really bad. My sinuses today, I went like this, and it's like, oh, it's sore. I need to start rinsing them out. They're just very tender. So yeah, and Marilyn, ultimately, Marilyn says, thanks for the info. I always suspected that the retrograde worsened my autoimmune issues. And here's another thing with just retrogrades in general. The way we describe it is that the energy becomes less accessible to us on a practical level. So that's thinking, communicating, scheduling, all that, the ticking of the clock. And so what happens is the energies tend to go sort of underground and internal. So that in itself, with retrogrades, our thought process and everything just kind of dive. And so that can, and it's all, it's all one thing. So that can sort of turn things inward. And I don't know if you get, I don't even know if I get exactly what I'm saying there, but we'll leave it at that. At John Flannery on YouTube is so calming. Okay, thank you, Catherine. Catherine is Silver Spiral Tarot. So thank you so much, at John Flannery. All right, cool. So let's have a blessing and a bit of a grounding, eh? And then we'll introduce our decks and get swinging. I feel like we're way ahead of schedule here. I guess I've just had so much to ramble on about in past weeks. All right. I offer you this sacred smoke. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged. May our minds be open to non-logical thought. Logic kind of takes a vacation with Mercury retrograde. So we activate that connection between the left brain and right brain, conscious and subconscious, and wait for wonderful messages. And may the fire open your eyes and light your path. And by water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. May the water be our connection. May it be our empathy, our compassion, our joy. And the earth, we ask for grounding and healing energy, the energy of manifestation. We welcome the elements here. And by the sound of the bell, may the space around you be cleared of negativity, and all of the air bits of air, may everything be aligned. And may your mind be clear. And may the spirit enter in. Let's connect with that spiritual part of yourself. That part that you know best, whether you know it or not. And then we invite in allies and ancestors, guides and guardians. Welcome to you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for guiding me through every day whenever I choose to listen. And I offer you fresh water and the fire of Azrael to bring in the spirit of divination. And I thank you now for wonderful blessings and messages that come straight from spirit for the magic that we will experience tonight. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. All right. Let's have a bit of a grounding. Wait a second. No, I want you up there. You up there. There we go. Okay. Now, settle down. Sorry, I had to pop my ears. Settle down onto the surface that you're sitting or lying on. Make sure that your feet are uncrossed. And your hands can be resting on your thighs or on your chest, but make sure they're not crossed either, okay? And just wiggle around, settle yourself so that you feel stable. and so that you feel aligned. One of the things it's nice to do is to take your shoulders and first of all just let them sink down under your ears so they're not like this, down, down, down. Just let them relax down. Feel your neck lengthen, and then roll those shoulders back a little bit and feel your shoulder blades just slide down your spine, slide down and in. And when they slide down, it opens up here. When you tuck them into your spine, it opens all through here. Hello, artists and oracles. Welcome. Ooh, from Nova Scotia. Awesome. All right, so now settle into your body. Settle in, feel your skin, feel the pull of gravity, and exhale into that gravity. With each exhale, just feel yourself relaxing into the surface that's holding you up. Easy inhales and nice exhales where you just feel yourself puddling into the cushions. Feeling the front of your body just open up beautifully as you relax. And then putting your attention at the base of your spine, allow that center to activate and to spin, and you sense it opening up as a root grows down into the earth. Just let it grow down, a nice big taproot that will hold you so securely. And let's let everything flow out of us that we're done with, that we can let go of to go down into the earth. Just let it all drain out. And you can see on this taproot thousands of little rootlets just growing out to the sides. And as you release everything that you're done with, it just spreads out from those rootlets, breaks into all of its components, and spreads out as harmful elements as all of the elements of life that combine together to make growing things. And just let all of these bits and pieces dissolve and go into the earth, neutralized, and leaving a lot of space in your body and leaving a lot of relaxation as tension leaves, as worry leaves, as pain leaves. And for those of us that have autoimmune conditions, just imagine a laying down of arms for a time. Imagine your immune system calming down. And imagine that any pathogens that might be in your body that's riling your immune system up, imagine that they drain down into the earth. And then imagine that all those little rootlets pardon me, that all those little rootlets begin to absorb
earth energy, green and gold, deep and resonant, the energy of the making of material things, the making of matter. And your little rootlets begin to soak up that energy, green and gold, little spirals, sparkling and flashing. And as they begin to flow up your taproot, you watch them join together in little pairs of green and gold that start to spin. And they rise up that root. And you notice when they touch the energy field of your physical body. And you feel the tingles as they begin to rush into your body, rushing down your legs, down, down, down to the tips of your toes. And they continue to rush in to fill up your pelvis and your belly and low back, little spinning pairs of green and gold spirals. And as they spin, they cast off little flashes that become little pairs themselves, multiplying and rising up through your belly, your mid back, into your chest, feeling your diaphragm loosen and relax. Your breaths become easier as it rises up into your chest through your lungs, up to your shoulders and rushing down your arms, to your fingertips, tingling and flashing and spinning up your neck and into your head. And just let this earth energy play for a little while within your personal energy system. They're of the very same substance. And just let this earth energy go in and finish the job of loosening everything that you're done with. And whatever it loosens falls down and goes down through your root, out the rootlets into the earth. So just watch those lights dancing and bouncing and flashing and sparkling everywhere. You're so full of them, you can feel it on the outside of your skin. And then we're exhaling completely. And on the next inhale, you turn up the volume and watch that green gold light get even brighter, filling you up, releasing only the breath now and holding that energy. And the next exhale, and then inhale again. Pull that earth energy up. You're shining like the sun inside right now, and release only the breath all the way out. And then a third inhale. So bright and so alive, and exhale that energy out the crown. And watch it shoot out the top, arc down around, and flow into this beautiful sphere. Sometimes it's egg-shaped, sometimes it's perfectly round, sometimes it moves and shifts with the shape of your body. But it is living. It is made of earth energy that has come through your physical system. This is an antenna to pick up the energies around you and allow you to observe them without absorbing them into your physical body. This is your shield that can filter out what is not yours. And this is your window and your doorway into the subtle realms. And make sure that your sphere comes down all around you, touches the earth under your feet, sinks down and hugs that root. And let this living circuit move on its own. As you turn your attention to the cosmos, to the heavens, to space, to the sun, the stars, the planets, and you open up your crown and allow the silver and blue to flow in. So light, rushing into the body, little spirals of blue and silver in little spinning pairs, thousands upon thousands rushing in and joining with the green gold earth energy. Feel the perfect balance as it moves down through your head, down through your neck, down to your shoulders, rushing to your fingertips, down through your chest, down through your belly, down into your pelvis. Feel how it just balances and lightens the earth energy, rushing down your legs now, all the way down to the tips of your toes. And feel how the density of the earth energy is perfectly balanced by sky energy, how there is space between all of these little clusters of green, blue, silver, and gold. And let these work for a while. Notice where they go. Notice what they would like you to notice. And then on an exhale, let it go down through your root, the blue and silver, till it reaches your sphere and travels up the outside. And now putting your attention at your heart chakra, let's let that center open and allow a beautiful pink light to flow out front and back from the heart center, filling up the sphere so that you are surrounded, bathed, suspended in pink liquid light. Love, compassion, connection, empathy, union. Breathe it in, swim in it, soak it in through your skin. Feel it inside and out. And then the next inhale, breathe it in, and on the exhale, push the outer layer of your sphere out. Feel it flow out, expand, and snap into the seed of life grid of all these intersecting spheres. Whenever you're watching this, you're connected in the eternal now. Remember that in the magical realm, there is no time or space in the energetic realm. So once we are beyond the body, we are here together all the time. All right. Invite into this space your own deities, your own guides, and put in it any questions that you might have tonight. Although I'm not addressing specific questions, if you put the question out there, I betcha it will get answered. So let's do that. And then come on back, bring your energy back to the space, open your eyes if you want to. You don't have to open your eyes. Kendra's Journey, hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. All right. Now let's have a meet and greet with the Dax. I'm gonna put some more Fire of Azrael. I'm almost at the bottom of my jar. I have to make it. I bought the makings of it in May, and I still haven't made it. I do my best. What can I say? All right. So the decks tonight, some of them I just came to mind. One of them, or two of them, I think, got picked by dice, but they were ones that were already on my mind. So off we go. And one of them I had already chosen. So here we go. The first one is the Robin Wood Tarot. This is one of my mainstays from, all my years as a professional. But this is the newer copy of it that I was gifted with by Drew McKinney. This is how I found out that I can't put the things that Amazon sends me, the little notes, I can't scotch tape them because look what happens. The writing disappears. The fuck's that about? Anyway, thank you, Drew. Blessings to you. And then we have Tarot Grand Luxe by Ciro Marchetti. And then we have Fyodor Pavlov Tarot. This is by Fyodor Pavlov, duh. So, yes, I thought, wait, I didn't tell you Robin Wood. It's Robin Wood. Okay, then we have the Wisdom Keepers and that big deck energy. And the Wandering Heart. And the Wisdom Keepers is Rosie Aronson, PhD. And the Wandering Heart is Raina Biddy. I kind of love that her last name is Biddy, because that used to be what they called old hags. You old Biddy. Okay, so and then the WITCH, Woman in Total Control of Herself deck by Angie Sullins and art by Silas Tobal. So let's get a going with the Astro dice. What do we need today? All right, we have Mars in Gemini. I'm facing the right way, you know me. Mars in Gemini in the 9th house. Okay, so Mars, of course, is just energy, activation, it's desire, it's passion, it's motivation, it's go, 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 it's courage, it's anger. And in Gemini, it's mental energy ruled by Mercury, and it's duality. It's two things. Whenever you've got something sitting in Gemini, there's a double thing going on with it. So with Mars in Gemini, it can give a scattering of energies because Gemini is a mutable sign, and the signs that Mars rules, Aries and Scorpio, one is cardinal, one is fixed. So Mars isn't really comfortable in a mutable sign. It can scatter because Gemini is, and mutability just means changeability, adaptability. But it's not steadfast. It doesn't stay. It doesn't push forward. It's just kind of goes with the flow and changes with the breeze, is more appropriate with Gemini, an air sign. So we can have a scattering of energies, but we can also talk about, because it's in the 9th house, which is mass communication. So the mass media, anything on a global level. It's funny because I had a little flicker of that as I was getting ready, talking about things being on a global level tonight. I had a little idea of me throwing the dice and talking about global. Well, that's the 9th house. Foreign affairs, international affairs, higher education. It's the expansion of everything that's 3rd house, which is basic education, basic communication, basic travel. So it's world travel, mass media. So we can talk about, this is interesting. So Gemini 9th, communication through mass media. Mars is talking about an activation of, or just a gung-ho, And there are issues. So one of the things that that is happening is it's like this period of accountability, you know, and one of the entities, the sectors that needs to be held accountable is the corporate media, because they have been shills and propagandists and pawns, and it's time for it to stop. When they go at Joe Biden and they go at Kamala Harris and they go at people just, asking questions, you didn't answer the question, and then they let Trump stand up there and have not a press conference, but a propaganda session for, what was it, 90 minutes or something ridiculous like that, with no pushback, no follow-up questions on things, no fact checking. It's obscene. So I am really glad, I do watch MSNBC on YouTube. And I want to thank Lawrence O'Donnell for taking on his network for airing that Trump thing, for that very thing. If they go on, so a couple days ago, a few days ago, look up his thing, because he called out his own network for the bullshit. And then he went on vacation. Everybody panicked. But I will go to that source. But the rest of them, no. This is why I'm so glad that there are alternative sources like Resistance Live and The Bulwark. And there's is it 1440? Hold on a second. There is a newsletter I get that is just like very straight headline news from the AP, from Reuters. Let me see what it's called. Hold on. 1440 Daily Digest. And it's like, get it just straight like news used to be. Anyhow, one of these things, we can talk about anger being communicated globally. We can talk about action, standing up, and making our thoughts known on a big, big level. There's something else here. I wish Tavia was here. She's such a backup astrologically. All right, so we're going to put that up here. Mars is getting active and communicating in a big way. All right, let me catch up with some things here. Al says, little did I know the first time moving as an adult is the one most stressful things ever. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Yes, it is. It never gets any better. It really doesn't. But yes, doing it the first time as an adult, it really does have its rewards. You will feel them once you get through the hell of the move, and when you land and you start putting things away. And one of the best things is, this is mine, my place. I can have things where I want them. So it's amazing. Yes, it has its rewards. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. One day at a time. One day at a time, one thing at a time. Just, try not to see beyond what's in front of you. But we'll send you some energy, kiddo. We definitely will. Okay, so let's get the da and see who's up first tonight. Number 2, which is Ciro Marchetti. Okay, Ciro. And I meant to give everybody a really good shuffle ahead of time. Did I? No. So here I go. Here I go. Shuffle it. That's what I think. That's what I think. Oh, jeez. I think this is a deck that needs to be turned upside down. This is U.S. Games, but not its usual cardstock. All right. So what do we need to know tonight? Yep. I could just tell by the way it was shuffling that it needed to be shuffled face up. Don't ask me why. If they've got like foil on the edges, it actually creates like a lip. Hold on. Lordy. That gets in the way of the shuffle. These I edged myself. Anytime I come out with a deck that's got black borders out to the edge, you gotta do it. And I got I don't know if I told you guys about these. Hold on. Because I was edging
decks with Sharpies, just regular Sharpies, which, oh man, that can be such a pain in the ass. But there's these Sharpie creative markers that are paint markers. Wow, so much faster and so much better coverage. But you do have to be careful a little bit because they are paint and the paint can travel. All right. What do we need to know tonight? What do we need to know for the collective? All right, now tell me to stop. And that's why they told me to stop, because we have the star right in the middle. And then we have the Ace of Swords. And then we have Temperance. How interesting. Oh, looky. The Seven of Coins reversed. How did I get reversals? Well, I did, so here we go. Then we have the Moon reversed. And then we have the Sun. All right. Sun, Moon, and Star. Look at this, you guys. I'm going to turn these up. I will remember that they had reversal energies, but I want to look at them as they are. All right. This is fun. So the star, of course, means hope and inspiration. The star is, and inspiration in terms of like art, creativity. So the star coming out the chute, like right off the rip here, is saying that we really do need to stay in this kind of elevated place that we were just delivered to at the end of July, and look at what we can do while we're in this place. What do we want to create? What are we hopeful for? But I'm not just talking about, I've been talking about what we want to create in terms of the collective and society, but also just in terms of your own personal creativity, what you're here to express. What is it that Spirit is whispering in your ear that you say, oh, I want to make that. I want to do something about that, whether it's a painting or a cosplay costume or a putting your furniture in your room and rearranging things, setting up an altar and how you arrange all that. I remember when I was very first starting to read for money, and the star came out when I was talking to an artist. And I would ask them, are you an artist of inspiration and creativity and everything? Yes, it comes out a lot for artists. Also, just for people like nurses that do service, give service, and that there is that aspect there of spirit, of channeling spirit in service and healing as well. So nurses, healers of any stripe that move energy, we bring in energy from spirit and move it. That's what the star is talking about here. Samantha, you're here. Yay. Okay, wait. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad to see you, Sam. I was missing you. Ground News. Okay, Ink and Flame Academy. Hello, darling. Says Ground News is an interesting app for finding a balance of news. I don't have it, but I saw it on Trey Crowder's channel. I like Trey as well. He's fun. Awesome. Ground News. There's the divine Ms. Catherine. Yes. Yeah, he is. He's wonderful. All right. So we start off with the star, and then we have the Ace of Swords and Temperance. So oh boy, do I have a powerful image. What brings us back to balance? Cutting off the dead weight, cutting the ballast. Swords, Ace of Swords talks about things that begin because of what you let go of. So, and it's also the truth. Look at the eagle here, the eagle eye, seeing with keen sight, clear-eyed, without delusion. That's what the sword is about, cutting through illusion. There's a Tibetan deity named Manjushri who has this flaming sword, and he cuts through illusion and ignorance. So we can cut through the illusion and cut away the things that we need to let go of, the things we're done with. And because we always talk about what doesn't serve us, getting rid of what doesn't serve us, but that's a pretty broad category. What do you mean by that? And so you can think, oh, this whatever that's going on with me doesn't serve me, but maybe there's a damn good reason for it to be there because you're still processing, because, whatever.
But when we look at it as what you're done with, that's pretty definite. And you let your wisdom mind and you let your spirit guides, determine ultimately what it is that you're done with. So, um, so we cut away, and I keep hearing that word ballast. Ballast can be a thing that keeps a boat upright in the water. It can be a thing that it weighs a plane down, you know, that you dump it overboard and whoosh, up you go. So it's dead weight. Ballast is like dead weight. So we can cut away the dead weight. And then what do we get? Temperance is that beautiful balance, that integration of I'm not carrying what doesn't belong to me anymore. Now I am only carrying within my own system things that are of my own system and that belong to me. And we cut away the rest. And then look at this. Okay, 7 of coins. And look at the smile on her face. So more than like review, we are talking about harvest here. That through patience and through care, being patient, watching something grow, being aware of natural processes and their timetable, being willing to submit to that timetable, being willing to delay your gratification. That's it. Delayed gratification, because that, I can pick that tiny thing right now, but if I wait, I can pick that apple now, but it's green and it's going to suck the juice out of my mouth. Or I can wait until it's red and ripe and juicy, which will happen in its own time no matter what I want. So this is that organic being within the growing system of earth. Being appreciative, being patient, being joyous when the time has come. So it's being able to recognize when that time has come, what's ripe. So it can also say that there's something karmic that's ripening, that's ready to be harvested. It came upside down, so it could emphasize the patience part because Mercury is retrograde, And then the moon here, talking about those undercurrents, those things that are way down under the surface. And especially, those came up reversed. And so we can talk about stuff that really is way down underground. And it can feel like the delay is forever. And we don't know why. So this can actually talk about us getting impatient because we can't tell what's happening under the surface. But instead of that, let's trust the universe. Let's trust the processes that, we are all a part of, and that things are ripening in their own time. And tune into, that liquid part of you that can just, give you an idea. Yes, the boat is still balanced, so we're okay. And then we had the sun. So waiting for those subconscious internal things to come out into the sunlight. And this is very interesting, because as I was setting up, one of the keys that was in my mind as well was empowerment. That we are going through a time right now of empowerment. What is this joy we feel? I mean, it's relief, it's hope, but it is also empowerment. We feel like we're not victims anymore. We feel like we have a say. We feel like we'll be listened to. We feel like our vote is going to count. We feel empowered. And the sun is a huge card of empowerment. It's the biggest yes card in the deck, the most positive in the deck. And look, just sun, moon, star. What else do you need? The day, the night, in balance, all in its time, in its season. And the Ace of Swords over here looking this way, saying, yes, this is familiar to me. I know this process. I know this cycle. So I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to fight the natural processes that I'm part of. I'm feeling hopeful, empowered, and inspired. Wow. So, the other side of that, because we do have to honor the way they came out, is saying that, if you're feeling disempowered and impatient, and what that could be doing is kicking up the negative side of your unconscious. What it does is it causes your neuroses to play out. It causes oh God, hold on. It can cause us to act out from those places, those subconscious things, those old wounds that are not obviously conscious. So this impatience, we can have these things kicking up and making us feel like a victim. I mean, that's pretty darn clear. So we're not going to do that. We're going to put them this way. We are going to recognize that everything has its season, turn. Weren't we talking about that last week? And then spend our time determining what I'm done with, getting rid of it, and bringing things into balance and hope. They're telling me to look at the bottom of the pile. And we have the 9 of Swords here. Ooh. And the 9 of Wands and the 4 of Coins. So what's the other side of this? Anxiety and worry and, woundedness. No. We are going to handle our own feelings. We are going to be accountable for our own behavior. And, this is one of those, when you don't know what to do, don't do anything. When you're feeling really impatient and things aren't playing out fast enough, find something to do with your hands. Mars and Gemini can be action with the hands. Find something to do with your hands. Take a class. If you're as old as I am, go to your state university and audit a course for free. You can do that in Ohio. All right. So, who's next? No, Chiro, we already had you. Number 3, which is Fyodor. This is the deck that I use for timing. And looky, we've got the 10 of Swords there. Yikes. But that first reading, I think with the ones that came up reversed, it really is a bit of a, hey there, hey now, to not fall back into victimhood and to really come from an empowered stance rather than there's nothing I can do. Just because things aren't apparent now or they're taking time to unfold doesn't mean we need to catastrophize and go into that place. Okay, let's see here. Time is an illusion today. Cutting off the ankle weights the fearmongers keep trying to attach to us. Yeah, although I need to put on some ankle weights. Strengthen the legs, Necessary comic relief. Yes, he is. And Randy Rainbow is amazing too. Yes, you're right, Samantha. Ties into last week's reading about the timelines collapsing. Collectively, we're choosing to move along more compassionate paths and letting the rest dissolve. Yes, absolutely. Be patient because the roots of the fearfulness run deep. That's for show. Coming out to the light of day. Okay. So we have the Magician that just flew out of the deck here. We have the 4 of Coins. Again, that was at the bottom of the Chiro deck. We have the 8 of Coins. We have the Knight of Cups. He's been making an appearance today, too, as I was testing decks. The Queen of Cups. Hello, my darling. And the 6 of Coins. How interesting. Okay. So the Magician is our power of manifestation. The Magician says you've got all the basic tools. You've got all the materials. Now you need to actually make them into something. Mars in Gemini feels a lot like the Magician to me. He's Mercury. But it's the manipulation of hands. Using your hands, taking action, channeling that creative power that is Mars, that fertilizing power. Okay, then we have the 4 of Coins, the hoarder card, and the 8 of coins. And then we have the apprentice card. So what I'm seeing here is just the gathering of stuff. I'm buying this, and I'm this is hitting me so hard. It's the room full of craft supplies. And this guy is getting his hands on those supplies and practicing his skills and fucking making something out of them. So this is going from just collecting and hoarding the things, I've got all the stuff, into what am I going to do with the stuff? And then we've got the Knight and the Queen of Cups. Action from an emotional place, and fertility, sensitivity, and then here we've got the things that are being made distributed. Okay, this is pretty fascinating. So we can, go down so many roads here, so many roads about the people in our culture that are hoarding stuff, hoarding money in particular, and the hammering out of things on a practical level. All right, this is an offer. I just heard an offer to come to the table. She is holding a cup out as well. Come sit at the table. We offer you a place at the table. This is your psychic ability as well. He's pointing down this way. So this is just that sensitivity that we all have as readers. But I'm going to take a couple hits on things. We have the Hermit there, and we have the Page of Cups there. So this is definitely talking about our emotional selves and what we have to offer. We had the Star back there, but the Knight of Cups is what we have to offer to someone. A proposal. Here's what I bring to you, bring to the table. The Page of Cups is just about emotional energy on its own. All right, I'm going to take another one here. And we've got the Five of Wands. Okay, hold on. So we see the Hermit here, shining light, solitude. That's a deep wisdom as well. So look at these two. The Hermit is like the wise, the monk up in the cave that people come to and ask questions, that kind of wisdom. She's holding a book. She's holding the light. There's a crow on her shoulder. She has a lot to offer here, and so does the Queen, and so does the Page. But here we're talking about kind of competition. That's not really sinking in for me either. And there's the Seven of Coins again. And there's the Three of Wands. Okay, so we are talking about planning, but we're talking about using our resources. So, interesting, the first deck that comes out, and what cards land in what spaces. Might be interesting sometime to just let the cards sit and lay on top of them, just to kind of go through the piles at the end. Anyhow, talking about the hoarding of resources and then going into using those resources. And some of the resources that we have, although this is clearly physical with the coins, clearly physical. Then we come down to this emotional realm. So we've got the physical resources, but we also have things to offer emotionally. Our deep wisdom, our innocence. The Page of Cups can talk about sort of innocence emotionally. Nurturing, this kind of emotional ability where, we and this is some of the skills that we're learning now, is just how to be verbally kind to each other. What to do when somebody comes and says, oh, I'm going through this, and then, where we're learning the skills of, I'm sorry you're going through that. Are you looking for advice, or do you just need to vent? Do you need an ear or a mouth? or, feet, or what do you need? Um, Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, looking at those emotional skills and emotional intelligence. And it's not just emotional, it's practical as well. So we can kind of keep our emotions to ourselves, or we can, through the gaining of skills, we can offer what we have emotionally. We can offer our wisdom, we can offer comfort. And here too, this Six of Pentacles talks about what we have to offer to those in need. So we have a lot to offer, and it's very practical, and it has a physical impact. Yeah, the Five of Wands kind of has me stymied. I mean, it's kind of like sparring and competitiveness and just sort of, but it can also talk about a plan that's not coordinated yet. And we have this Three of Rods down here, which talks about launching a plan. So that also can say something about we need to really get our plan ironed out on a logistical basis, so before we launch. And that there is a lot to be gained. So there's that Harvest card again. All right, I'm going to look at messages because I need to let that bake for a little bit. Bringing the hoarders and the laborers to the table to, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Catherine. Yes, the hoarders and the laborers. Bingo. Brilliant. Absolutely. Bringing the hoarders and the laborers. And this is that negotiation. And, when we have the women coming in, they can be every bit as tough as the men, but do they need to be? There's going to be this new emotional energy coming into things. And it's a stability. It's a stability. How many men have we seen sit in front of Congress crying and weeping and moaning, looking at you, Brett, because they got held accountable for something? How much emotional instability have we seen from the men's side? So bringing in this emotional stability energy. But yes, making sure that people get what they need. We don't have, there's plans definitely need to be coordinated, but there will be new plans being launched. And the harvest continues. I'm going to look at the bottom of this one too. Looky there, Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords. Oh my God. The Two of Pentacles. Look at this, you guys. Ace of Swords, Two of Coins, and Ace of Wands. So the three aces, all four suits, but we have the Two of Wands rather than the Ace of Wands. That is, our coins, sorry. Frickin' fascinating. And, we've got the UAW, which is suing Donald, and the Elon for comments they made in their conversation on Monday, talking about Donald was telling Elon how much he admires the way he handles workers that threaten to strike. He just fires them. So now they're getting sued. I love it so much. All right. Thank you. There we go. Be choosy with who. With who. Yeah, who and how you share your resources. Okay, that's the same deck. These decks want to come out twice. Now we have the Wisdom Keepers. This is such a wonderful, wonderful deck, just full of guides.
It's just full of guides. Okay, not because you're hoarding or fearful, but be choosy about whose energy you align. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Boundaries. That's called boundaries. All right. Another giant deck. We're going to split and pull. Or maybe not. Maybe there's one there. Altruism. Ooh. Sensitivity. Diplomacy. All right. I'm going to keep shuffling. That one wants to come. Acceptance. Oopsie. Oh, looky, there's 3. Thank you. Let's see. Okay. Altruism, sensitivity, diplomacy. Okay, so altruism is the giving of our gifts, the giving without any expectation of return. And it's not sacrifice. It's just I'm here to give. I'm going to give with no agenda because that's what I'm here to do. Yeah. It's being here to bring benefit. I am here to benefit humankind. And I've been gifted. And I'm going to pass those along because the more I give, the more I get. The more, when you give, it just comes flowing back in. Sensitivity and diplomacy, those two go hand in hand, absolutely. Because you've, to really be diplomatic, you do have to be sensitive to what's going on, to the places where people might have, trigger points. So you come in with altruism for the benefit of all is the main goal, and you're sensitive and listening. Look at the heads just kind of tipped this way, sensitive, and then we're diplomatic. So I'm not here to say what I think and feel. I am here to find my way through the situation that we are in. Okay, wait a minute, I need some more sandalwood. I'm here to find my way through so I can help us find our way through so that we can all get the things that we need. And, the key thing there is that everyone can get what they need. And here we have acceptance and expansion. So the place of acceptance is the power place. Look at these heads all tipped. They're so nice. Tip to the left. Or whatever. Anyway, acceptance is the power place. When we talk about empowerment, it begins with acceptance of what's going on. If you are in La La Land and you don't acknowledge the situation in which you find yourself, you're not very empowered to do anything about it. So you have to be acknowledging. And it's interesting because there's a fine line here. It's like we can acknowledge. Acceptance has that sort of connotation of it's all right, that this is good and it's all right, and yes, this, thank you, I'll take this, But, okay. And I do want to go that way. Because I think we're talking here about acceptance of others and acceptance, and that's part of altruism, is the acceptance of the fact that this planet is incredibly diverse and that there are others
quite different seemingly from us. And if we really want to be truly altruistic, and I'm thinking about the star that was there, then we accept everyone in their totality, and we are sensitive to hear their needs. We can be diplomatic in helping them to get the things that they need and want, the basics of survival. And then we have expansion. When we are in those energies, everything expands. The gifts that we have to give expand. And I'm also looking more into these faces. There is a stork here, or a pelican. What's the story about the stork piercing its own breast and, letting blood to, I can't remember. Somebody's going to know, right? One of you's going to know that. So let's fill in. And here we've got a thunderbird and feathers. Here we've got a moon and star that looks kind of Muslim, a little Muslim-y. And we've got a Hamsa on his turban here, so you get kind of a Middle Eastern. And there's dervishes here doing their whirly dance. So yes, acceptance, and it comes in the face of someone from the Middle East. Oh boy, is that a message for over there. Accepting people, accepting each other. That's a big sticking point. Here we've got a Hamsa again, which is a thing that wards off the evil eye, looks like that. And we've got a sprouting seed, crescent moons. She's wearing what looks like hijab. This is a babushka. And then expansion here, looking at the herds and these, it looks like Northwest indigenous symbols here. But look at this expansion and that idea of the herd, expanding our notion and our definition of us to include, And then at the bottom we have simplicity. Look how different she is. She's turned to the side and she's looking at this beautiful lotus. The images on her are just geometric, just graphic design. There's nothing really representational. And smelling the flower. So we get that kind of stop and smell the roses, the simplicity. So we can really get, all right, I want to look at this axis. So what it's saying here is we talk about altruism and all these parts that go along with it, being sensitive, being diplomatic, accepting, expanding the table, expanding the tent, whatever metaphor you want to use. But ultimately, altruism is very simple. It's about showing up and being face to face with whoever we're face to face with, accepting them, regarding them with loving eyes, expanding to, into that acceptance, and being sensitive and diplomatic. Don't you just love these faces? Okay, let me see. That ties in with the magician at the top, what we can manifest. Are you talking about the altruism there, Catherine? Oh, ink and flame, thank you. Yeah, do you see me fucking with my hair? Yes, because I like it too. Thank you so much. Or were we talking about? All right. Anyway, Ink and Flame says, I got this deck secondhand, but I haven't started working with it. I love seeing it in action. Ah, yes. Be interesting to know the cultural background of the figures represented. This artwork is gorgeous. It really is. It's such a special deck. It's the Wisdom Keepers Oracle deck at wisdomkeepers.net, Seal Pup Press. And it was $47. It's an expensive deck, but it is very, very worth it. If you want to see all of it, go search the video on my channel. Let's kind of look real quick. We got time, right? Maybe. Oops. Siddhi, selflessness. My own wisdom story. So they have questions for contemplation. All right, she probably says, but what's interesting, the gift is altruism, the shadow is selfishness, the siddhi is selflessness. Programming partner 28. Totality. All right. I'm not going to get lost there because I will get lost there. But yeah, they're so beautiful. And then let's look at our realism. Look at that. Realism. So, I don't know if I can even talk about that. It's just that we see so much illusion. And, it's one of the reasons that although I put makeup on to do live streams, I don't try to, be a TV presenter or do, things like that because I don't have the energy to sustain that. But I really love the platforms that we have, that YouTube was the big starter of this whole thing, where we can come out and be our real selves rather than taking on personas. So I think that is ultimately what we need. Whoops, hair. Is just to be real, be our real selves for each other. And allow that, Part of that too is being able to be in silence with each other without needing to fill up the space. All right. I'm going to put those back, and we've had 3 now. I'm going to take a very quick break. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. I'm back. Thank you for your patience. Okay, who's up next? 5. The Wandering Heart. This too is just a wonderful deck. Now, okay. Oh, let me back up. Okay, wait, I got to really back up because you were talking amongst yourselves. Okay. So Ink and Flame said you got this second hand. Cultural background. Perhaps it's time for you to start playing around with it. Ink and... Yes, I think you should. And let me know. This one doesn't shuffle for shit. Be sensitive to what's going on around you. Accept the incoming information. Accept. I know that's what you meant. Allow it to expand. Diplomacy is about balance, and keep it simple. Yeah, that's right. Altruism as the pinnacle. And Catherine says the pelican pierces its own breast to feed its young. Yes, it's the only myths and legends I know about. The crane, mainly Asian, the primary totem of the clans of the Ojibwe. Yes, the magician in the last reading. All right. Oh, good.
Ink and Flame says tonight's messages really speak to what I asked Spirit at the start. Good. Right in the head, the Tlingit, the Muslim. Yep. Yes, I think you should. Ink and Flame. Yes, Samantha, you may play with this deck. Yes, it did. All right, so I'm going to split and pull. Fertility. Kin. Reclaim your power. Familiarity. Source. Neglect. Ooh. Those last three, they just said take them off the top, so I did. All right. Yeah, well, the fertility and the pregnant woman here, this is the second pregnant woman we've had in this position, right? So, and look at the little girl with the dollhouse for neglect. All right. Kin, reclaim your power. Hold on, I'm just kind of scanning. So certainly these are talking to me about the predicament that women in this country are in, and some places far worse than others, and many places throughout the world too. But you know what? If Ireland could make abortion accessible to everyone, Catholic a country as it is, we can too. So that's what we're driving at, is look at this: fertility, reclaim your power, and kin. That's kind of a non sequitur off to the side, but kin does talk about family, who you're related to, and this is talking about your chosen family. I mean, we have blood family, yes, but we also have chosen family. Still with fertility, reclaim your power, so that, you know, again, expanding that idea of family, familiarity. This is certainly talking about women reclaiming their power as channels of the source that we are. And, you know, yes, it is reclaiming because at some time, I like to believe, we had the ultimate say, but it might have been, you know, when we didn't really have the ultimate knowledge of how things worked. And where we are now is we need to reclaim that agency and that autonomy. That, you know, we are the creators of kin and family. But family and kin is not just what comes from the womb. And I think one of the things we're seeing when we have, you know, Gen Z, so many of whom are saying, no kids for me, thank you. I'm not going to have any kids. And that in itself is one of the things scaring the pants off of them. But it is something that is going to be incredibly impactful on everything, just everything. You know, babies are a huge industry. Think about all the things that get sold to you when you're a new parent, and what it takes and costs to raise a child and get them the things that they need for house and home. But, you know, the problem we have is that the focus is only on fertility and on producing children that then will be neglected by the culture. Damn. So I'm going to take some hits here. Why am I going from the bottom? Blessings in disguise, it says. All right, I'm going to split. Orgasm. So one of the things I was thinking, interestingly, is while we were talking about fertility, and it's like, you know, it's a big topic, but the thing is, only from the women's side.
from the men's side, it's more about potency. You know, we have potency and fertility. This is just a delicious card. It really is. And so we have kind of a thing here. I've got a Lysistrata happening that you know, what happens if women decide to stop having babies? What happens if we say no more this until you take care of this? Till you take care of the neglect issue. Restore. Look at this. Look at the woman holding the baby and the sheep and the lambs. Restoring. Empowerment. I mean, this is a little thing of, hey, we can take care of ourselves perfectly well. Thank you very much. And then we have follow your heart. So, I mean, we certainly do have the topic of what's going on in our culture as far as somebody that thinks he's going to be sitting, you know, in a place of power in this country saying that the only thing that gray-haired women like myself are here for is to help raise grandchildren. That's the only thing we're good for. So, you know, we've got that and childless cat women, that whole meme, which I just absolutely think is hilarious. And I'm just waiting for that man's brown wife to realize she's brown. Anyhow, so we have the problem laid out, but one of the biggest problems is the neglect of the children once they're here. Fertility, potency, pregnancy, that's a wonderful thing, you know, pregnancy at the cost of your life, but once the child gets here, it's neglect. So we need to restore the care there. And orgasm is just talking about joy. And the joy of sexuality and orgasm separated from fertility. And follow your heart, of course, is about the right to love whom you love. Look at this bare fruit. Oh my God. But the thing is, it's a sacred thing. What is this pregnancy about? It's about source. It's about channeling the source. Women are the ones that bring in spirit, that bring in that spark of life, that bring in soul, and that manufacture the body for that soul to reside in. Now, that soul doesn't get there until the first breath. This is wisdom from ancient times. That, and it's actually wisdom, you know, at the end of life as well. When you talk about people, you know, that are dying and that exhale that happens, and that's when the soul leaves. There's actually a video, and I think they had it on like infrared or something, where you actually see this man's last exhale and you see this soul rising up. So the soul comes in at the first breath. There's spirit there. Spirit is the animating force, the spark of life that comes from the male, the lightning that hits the ocean, you know. So that spark of life is there, and then spirit is that animating, it's the element of fire, you know, it's that animating thing that makes the body move, that the electricity that travels through the systems in a fetus, an embryo, but not until birth and that first breath does the soul come in. It can certainly be attached, but, you know, there are also experiences where there's a soul that all they needed was to kind of have that experience of birth, and then they kind of take off and another one steps in. There's all kinds of things that go on, but, you know, it's not just about that harvest and bearing fruit. It needs to be acknowledged again that we are that channel. And being that channel of source, we are holy, and our choice is holy. Yes, it is. Our holy orgasm that, if you're not worth sleeping with because you give us a good, you don't give us a good time, you're not worth making babies with. There's another part of that. Follow your heart, whomever you love. But really, about reclaiming all of those cards, and they're not all like that. Look at this: stillness, boundaries, honor your word, silver lining, fallback, forgiveness. We got all of the frickin' fertility, love, sex cards in the whole deck. So this is certainly a big, big, big issue. And again, is there advice there? Not really. It's just saying that, this is the way things are. And this is what needs to be restored, is women in full agency. And then you will see things coming into balance. Most people that are absolutely poverty stricken are not trying to bring in endless children. They really aren't. Give them choice. Give them a decent living wage too while you're at it. All right. The crickets are so loud outside I can hear them through the windows with the air conditioner on. Okay. I'll try not to have to pee again. Now let me catch up. Oh, Ink and Flame, your name is Eva. Thank you. Yeah, I probably will forget, but I will dial it in at some point, so keep telling us if we ask. All right, Eva, thank you so much. And I love the Ink and Flame Alchemy. I love that name too. Hi, Jessica. Heard about JD and postmenopausal weight. Yeah, that's right. Fuck him. Absolutely. Tell me there's something else about JD. Yeah, he is absolutely despicable. And have you seen the pictures of him in drag? They're pathetic. The wig is awful. Like, dude, if you're going to do it right. He apparently enjoys dressing up, shall we say. So, you know how these guys are. These solution seekers look away from the JD energy. Yep. Our sole purpose is to help raise grandchildren. Oh my God. Give him a feather because he ain't worth the bird. Sorry to be gross. That's okay. No. Oh, yeah, it was powerful. It really is laying out, here are the things that are really before us. And, the reading before it was talking about how we relate to each other and negotiate with each other. And, why we're doing what we're doing to bring, if everybody had the freedom and the support to bring the gifts that they have to the world without worrying whether they're going to make it to the next month or pay their rent or be homeless. Imagine what this world would be. Imagine. So we had that, and then we had, let's get back to the fundamentals of letting women run this fucking place. Thank you. Okay, number 2, we've had that already. Number 4, we've had that already. Okay, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 1 and 6 to go. So give me a 1 or a 6, please. There's a 6. And we have WITCH, the woman in total control of herself. All right. A couple riffles. And a couple cuts. All right. From the woman in total control of herself, here they come. We have the Sovereign, Medicine Woman, and Dancer. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I'm going to take off the top for the rest. The Judge, she came out when I was asking if she wanted to play. Weaver of the Red Tent, she came out too, as I shuffle and shuffle and shuffle and shuffle. And then we have the Oracle. All right. So the Sovereign, a woman in control of herself. Woman in total control of herself. And not just that, woman with choice, in control of herself, but how about in control of her life? A woman in control of her life is a sovereign. A woman who, with ownership, ownership and agency. Here we go again. And then we have the medicine woman over here with the bear behind her. Look at that. And the healer. So again, women coming in, and we've watched this happening. And I think, kind of where we are is things have been happening. Now we've hit that 100th monkey place and it's spilling over. You look at the Olympics where for the first time ever, women were fully half of the athletes. Parity, we're dealing with the issue of, we've just got issues with women no matter what. So let me talk a little bit about this boxer thing. There was a meme showing someone, like a woman asking questions and a man replying, and the man saying that they should test women to see, and then to test them for unacceptable levels of testosterone that would give them an unfair advantage. And the woman said, okay, what level of testosterone gives a man an unfair advantage? Crickets. I hear them outside my window, So if we're going to be solely focused on genitalia, and that's what gender is, then be done, be done. And I'm also thinking about sumo, where, yes, it's all men, but there's no classes, no weight classes. They fight each other, and we've watched this one guy who's really little take down these huge ass boys, just because of technique and skill. So, but just watching the presence of the female, and it was something like 65% of the gold medals taken by the US were women. So we are seeing the women coming to the fore, coming into the forefront. And we've been watching through the years changes in different scientific disciplines because we now had women's eyes and ears on it. There's a little thing that goes around about a woman teaching an archaeology class or history, and there was a stick or a piece of antler or bone or something that had 28 cut marks in it. And it had been described as man's first attempt at a calendar. And the professor, who was a woman, asked the class, tell me, what man needs to keep track of 28 days? And she said, I suggest this is woman's first attempt at a calendar. So there we go. And then it was women who discovered that elephants do subsonics, the subsonic communication that goes for miles and miles. It was women that sat there and went, do you feel that? Do you feel that pressure change? And made the recordings and figured it out. So many times it's women's eyes on things. We're watching opinions in archaeological digs. Everything is about, competition and war and battles and male, that Mars boner, And now we're getting new perspectives on things simply because they're going through women's brains now. And we have the more holistic of the brains. They're more evenly balanced. There's more crossover between left and right hemispheres in general. So we are watching this, things changing and medicine changing as women come in. And we bring back herbal healing and the old disciplines that used to be in the hands of women, midwifery. You talk about neonatal mortality rates and how much worse they are under the male system than under the female system. Then we have the dancer here, dancing these things in, bringing them in a graceful way. Our glorious selves are coming back, into this world in this beautiful, graceful, glorious way. And I feel us in general just about to kind of blow away the world and all the old stuff. Then we've got the judge and the weaver of the red tent. So look at her. She, in the section where all the pregnant women have been showing up, we have the weaver of the red tent, the place where women retreat to celebrate those black moon mysteries. the mysteries of menstruation, the mysteries of the wound, the wise wound, and the mystery of being the ones who bleed and don't die. That powerful life-giving mystery. And then we've got the judge here. Who's the judge of whether we bleed or whether we carry? We are, because we are sovereign. And then we've got the oracle down here. So here's the, that part of the mystery, bringing in our sixth sense. And I mean, everybody has it. I want to look up a couple things here because I haven't played with this deck in a while, which is a shame because it's a fabulous deck. All right. Right. Yes, sovereignty is the ability to belong to oneself. I'm just going to read this. It shows up as confidence in oneself and integrity, in one's self-worth and integrity, rather than in one's productivity, prettiness, or performance. Oh, yes. This isn't taught in school, and you'll be hard-pressed to find much written on the subject, because women who belong to themselves are hard to control. They know their value, have boundaries, and speak truth to power. This makes them dangerous in the best sort of way. To claim sovereignty is to be self-referential, rooted in your own authority. A sovereign woman is no longer willing to doubt herself based on the fear that others will critique, judge, or shame her choices or decisions. She's called shameless because she lives by what feels true, what feels resonant inside her being, rather than what others deem appropriate. She's freed herself from worshiping at the altar of other people's expectations and approval. There's no need to play small, stay silent, or caretake in the name of subservience, or to maintain a perfect daughter, mother, wife, person status. She is free to follow her inner guidance while embodying her integrity. Stop letting others control the weather of your experience and reign. R-E-I-G-N. Stop letting others control the weather of your experience. Wow. I'm going to just read the last line of the rest of these because we're almost out of time here. Okay. This one, Medicine Woman, says, if you're struggling with illness or injury or experiencing disappointment, sadness, hurt, or rejection, seek out the Medicine Woman inside of you. She knows how precious you are and will aid you and with love, both gentle and fierce. So talking about being our own healers. I'm not going to read more. I want to go to the red tent, though. Gosh, I'm noticing 32, 34, 36. Okay. A witch is willing to make herself vulnerable, to ask for what she needs and receive help without shame. Okay. Yes, long ago the Red Tent was a place women gathered together to tell their stories, weave their futures, and shed their past, along with their menstrual blood. Losing the Red Tent and the village life associated with it has resulted in a loss of healthy interdependence. We've forgotten how much we need each other and how precious unstructured time together can be. We continually feel the pressure to perform, produce, fix, create, heal, help without ever acknowledging our own needs. We've been raised to think of need as a bad word, a condition that makes us weak and inferior. So here, when we had the Red Tent, that's community. That's women's community. And I talked in the beginning about how much shit I took when I was doing just women's rituals, but that is something that was taken away from us in order to bust down our power, in order to take away our sovereignty. Because when women gather in the Red Tent and then one of them becomes pregnant, she brought that to the tent too and talked to her sisters. And if it was, I'm going to need help, I'm really sick with this pregnancy, they all helped. And if it was, I can't bear this child, this was a mistake, then they helped with that as well, with the medicine women. And that's where the beginning of the village that raises children is. That when a child was then born and brought into that tent and bonded with all the aunties, then you have all of these women that can help raise a child rather than this horrible, horrible, unnatural thing of single motherhood. It's a crime. But that's what happens when we have allowed, or we've been, beaten into submission by those who want to control, while we have let ourselves be torn apart from each other. And what else happens in the red tent? The judge and the oracle. Women talk. They talk and gossip. Oh, here's what so-and-so did. All right, well, we're not going to that business anymore. That's a powerful force in a community. And also the oracle, to see what's coming and learn how to direct things. Wow. Whew. Okay. Okay, this one, Sam, is the woman in total control of herself, or the one before it? The one before it was the wandering heart. Is that the one we just did? Yes. This one is the wandering heart deck, and that is by, what's the, Andrews McMeel. They have such good decks. Okay. So yeah, this is about the, that last one was about sexuality and birth and fertility, and this is about women in community. Women in community together. We get together to dance, we get together to shed blood, we get together to heal, to gossip, to predict, to look deep, to share wisdom. Yes, yesity, yes, yes. Ooh, this is such a good deck. Oh, such a good deck. All right. And then we've got Robin Wood at the end, and let me catch up. Let me catch up. Fascinating. Yep. Talks about women studying women's health and athletics. Okay, who talks about? Now I don't remember things that were said. Women studying, yes, women's health and athletics. Yes, yes, yes. Rather than, men policing women's bodies. We are done. We are done being policed by men, being owned by men. We're done. And that doesn't mean that we're dykes, and it doesn't mean that we hate men. You would be done too if you were being policed and controlled. Mr. Men. Okay. Yes. Got to somehow express that inequality between the sexes is to our society what shackling one half of the body is to a person. Yes, yes. Both halves make it whole. That used to be when the Mormons would come to my door. And I always found them kind, and I always found them willing to listen. I never invited them in, but I would share, no, thank you. We are pagan in this household. And they would always say, oh, what's that? And I would say, well, we feel that a father and children is an incomplete household. An incomplete family, and that you need both a mother and a father in order to have children and in order to be a complete family. And that goes spiritually too. And they'd go, oh, we've got this angry incel as a god in those other religions. And look, we got Wheel of Fortune here. Okay, let's see here. Yes, women in total control of herself. Didn't even think to wait until I could see the cover of the booklet again. Yes. It's for the update. Okay, wait. Jessica W. I missed something. Oh, okay. Lots of thoughts for him. Yes, I do too. And look, we've got the Ace of Wands there. What was the only ace that didn't show up? At the bottom of the Pavlov deck, it was this one. There it is. So we've had all four aces. There's the Three of Wands again. There's the Knight of Swords and the Strength card. Wow, okay. And then Seven of Wands. So Wheel of Fortune, things are changing. Things are changing. Destiny, the Wheel of Destiny is in motion. And it's turning. The wheel's turning, and so is the worm. So, Wheel of Fortune is organic change. Things can, we can't have growth without the other side of the wheel. And we've had so many years of patriarchy, and now it has, it reached its ascendancy, and we got to see all the ick and the corruption of it when it's unfettered and unbalanced. So, what we've seen with the patriarchy is the result of what happens when you cut the other half of humanity off from a say-so. We end up with a system that's all about the boner. It's so funny. I was thinking about this card earlier too, before, because it just is such a perfect dick and balls, you know? We are left with a system that's all about fighting and gaining and gaining and gaining and being the only one at the top, at the top, at the top, at the top. Corruption to get them there, anything it takes to get them there. But no sharing, no nurturing, no fairness, no justice, no equity. So the wheel is turning, and there's a new plan. There are new things on the horizon. The ships are coming in now. They're coming in fast, and they're coming in with some rage. So you know all that rage that you guys have, enshrined all those years? It's coming back. It's coming back. Knight of Swords can talk about just that going into battle. But then on this side, we have strength, which is self-control, and which says, no, we tame through gentle teaching. We tame through setting boundaries and saying, no, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go that way. And this is, a new growth of something, a new potency, a new kind of potency that's not about anger and warfare and just, all hail the boner. Strength says we tame this through, and Kamala has it. Oh, she has it. The mom look, even though she has not birthed a child from her own loins, therefore making her totally worthless as far as JD goes. But she is raising children. But just that, I can just imagine her getting the look and the tone of voice that, oh man, I better shut my mouth now. That's this. But it's all gentleness. It's not about violence. It's not about force. It's about, okay, let's take this down now. And taming that lion, making it roll on the floor at your feet, purring away. But then we've got the Seven of Wands here. So it also says we stand up. We stand up and we set the boundaries. We stand up for a cause. We stand against, things that want to take us down the old path again. But the other thing is that we stand together as well. This shows just one person with everything coming at them. But if we each stand for ourselves, we stand together. There's the Magician again. There's the Six of Cups. Children. And I want to go back to this Mars in Gemini in the 9th. Mars is that boner. So it is about mass communication, and Mars is about empowerment as well as the sun. Powerful communication on a global level. What are we communicating about? We're just out there, and it's not, we don't have to stand up and explain ourselves and say, this is why women need to be. We just need to stand up and take it. That's what this is saying. We just need to stand up for ourselves, our children, our families, and just take our rightful place. We don't have to explain. We don't have to apologize. We certainly will not compromise anymore. And we will stand up together. We will do our magic and manifest a place that is the best place for children to be raised. We're dealing with horrendous conditions around the world, but it's not because of the women. The war zones are not because of the women. The nuclear stockpile is not because of the women. Poverty, all of it, inequality, all of it is not because of the women. So, time to stand up, take our place, be strong. You will not knock us off of this. You will not. Okay, comments.
Goodness. Eva says, I've been learning how to channel female spirit ancestors to speak and write to these issues. Yes. Yes, it really is. And it's not, as goofy as remember back like in the 80s and things when people first started, talking about channeling. And it was weird, I'm taking on this new personality and an accent, and oh no, I'm this person. And no, I channel all the time. When you watch me going, and all of a sudden it's like, and it starts coming through, and sometimes it's like, phew, once it's out, because I didn't know those things before they came through my mouth. That's channeling. That is that star card opening the way for spirit to come through. So yes, go for it. And the only thing that you should do, Eva, is don't doubt and don't edit. Just let it flow. Validate your own experience. You're doing it. You are doing it. It is real. It's valid. Samantha says, what goes up must come down. Spinning wheel. Yep, talking about your troubles. It's a crying sin. Catch a painted pony. Let the spinning wheel spin. Absolutely. And Wandering Hedge. Hello there. Also have to think about the fact that when Mars enters Gemini, if someone is truly guilty within government, it ends up stacking everything against them. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. And true, ninth house's government is sort of like our agreement with each other. Well, Wandering Hedge, it has been a feminist space tonight. It has been all about the women. Yes, 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 it has. Hi, Natalie. Oh, honey, I'm so glad you're here, but we're getting ready to close it up, and you can go and, once the video shows up, go back to the beginning and watch it all. Oh, Marilyn, how interesting. Yeah, because it's like I still don't really know because there aren't categories, but just looking at how things relate to each other. And somebody was, I don't know if it was you, was asking about this spread. And sometimes when I'm reading for myself, I will also build it in the other direction, up. So it's a diamond. And yeah, I just find, and I think I started doing it because I didn't want to do a full 10 card thing and, looking for something simpler. I know what it was. It was the Carrot deck. I would do 3 cards. There's a 3-card reading with the Carrot deck. And then I wanted more. So it's like, I'm going to take this card as a bridge between the two. And I haven't really been doing that. So let's do that with this last one here. I know I'm going way long tonight, but too bad. So the new beginning and the Wheel of Fortune spinning and the Knight of Swords as the bridge, that yes, we do have to stand up and demand. And the wheel and the new plan coming in, and it's going to take strength and self-control and the women's skills of taming. And then the bridge between these two, the fighting and the taming, is the standing firm. Okay, well, that was just a bit of an exercise. Anyway. Eva says, as I speak to these issues, Spirit reminds me to lean into love. Yes, absolutely. And yes, tough love is, no, honey, you're not doing that. No, you're not. We had the 2 of Swords at the bottom there. No more denial. Hi, folks coming in. We had some powerful readings. Yes, we have. Well, we're going to bring it to a close here, and I am going to... Here we go. I'm trying to get it balanced, but that's okay. I am going to take us out with a tone here. Honestly, Wandering Hedge, I did not absorb that. Being autistic, my brain absorbs like what I'm interested in or what I'm taking in, and there's so much, you have so much information. Please start a channel. Please make some videos. Please do that. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's get a And Hedge, I will say one more thing. It's not that I'm not interested, it's I don't vibe with Norse. That, they just, I have a claim, but that's not where I feel at home. Um, so, all right, let's come back down into the body. Let all the messages and words sink in. Like raindrops sinking into the earth, let them sink into your body, let them sink into your deep, deep mind, where what you need can do its work, can bring change that you need, and what you don't need can go down into the earth. And as we think about things going down into the earth, we release any excess energy, anything that is not going to land and take root. We can let it go down into the earth. And we also let our love and our blessings and some of that wonderful pink light flow down into the earth for her blessing and her healing, the ultimate mother. And we send up into the cosmos our prayers, our aspirations, our gratitude, our love and pink light to spirit. And after the next exhale, we take a nice deep inhale. Push that outer layer out on the exhale. Watch it go out from where you are, wrap around the earth, and shoot out into space. I thank you all for the connection that you bring by showing up here. I'm so glad that you all show up, even when I don't do the night. I usually do, but I really, truly appreciate you. And if you get something out of this that's truly, truly worth your while, there are links down below that you can send me a tip, or an Amazon wish list where you can send me a deck. And I appreciate all of it. And I send you gratitude and blessings for giving me a purpose, for giving me a place that I can use the gifts I've been given. And I'm just so glad you're here. I will see you next time. When that will be, who knows? We'll find out. But I've got a stack of like 25 decks that I need to unbox and do videos on, you guys. I just have such a hard time because my deep dives are deeper and they take an hour. And then when I edit, it takes at least that long because I have to go through and watch the whole thing. So it gets harder for me to do. And that's such a bummer. Anyway, excuses aside, many, 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 many more deep dives to come. And yes, so Sam and Eva and Marilyn and Wandering Hedge and Jessica and Laura the Lurker and who else? Catherine and all of you. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me. Couldn't do it without you. I will see you next time. Till then, this is Luna. Mwah, I love you. Blessed be.